Chapter 23. You ruined everything! Everything! He repeated, moving toward us. Now wait! I cried, raised my hands as if to shield myself. Then I heard a sound from out in the tunnel. A low, clanking sound. I turned to Zeke and Brian. They heard it too. The trap door! It was moving, coming down. We could hear it at the other end of the tunnel. I think all three of us had the same idea at once. We had to get to that trap door. It was the only chance of escape. You ruined everything, Emil repeated, suddenly sounding more sad than angry. Why didn't you listen to my warnings? Without saying a word to each other, Zeke, Brian, and I charged for the door. Oh! I bumped into Emil as I scooted past. To my surprise, he didn't reach out to grab me, didn't try to stop me. I led the way out the door, running at full speed. My legs still felt as rubbery as chewing gum, but I forced them to move. One running step, then another. I didn't glance back, but I could hear Zeke and Brian at my heels, and then I heard Emil's voice echoing through the tunnels. You ruined everything! Everything! Was Emil chasing after us? I didn't care. I just wanted to get to the trapdoor platform and get out of there. I plunged blindly through the dark, curving tunnel. My sneakers sank into the soft dirt floor as I ran. My shoulders scraped the rough wall, but I didn't slow down. The light bounced over the ground at my feet. I raised it as the trapdoor platform came into view. I was gasping for breath. My side ached from running. Huh? What are you doing down here? A man's voice called. Zeke's dad. Zeke, Brian, and I scrambled onto the platform, squeezing beside him. What's going on? Mr. Matthews demanded. Whose voice is that? Up, I managed to choke out. Take us up. Zeke reached out and flipped the switch. This time it moved. With a hard jerk, the platform started to raise itself. I gazed back to the tunnel. Had Emil followed after us? No sign of him. He hadn't even chased us. Weird, I thought. So weird. I heard a man's voice. Who was that? Mr. Matthews demanded again. A homeless guy, living beneath the sage, I said, and explained what had happened and how he had been trying to scare us for weeks. How did you know we were down there? Zeke asked his dad. You were supposed to be at home, he replied sternly. You were grounded. You're still grounded. But when you weren't at home, I figured I'd find you poking around the stage again. The side door to the school was open. I entered the auditorium and heard the trapdoor moving. I decided to see what was going on. I'm so glad, I cried. I felt like hugging Mr. Matthews. As soon as the platform stopped, we scrambled onto the stage. Zeke's dad heard the call to police. He told him there was a homeless guy living under the school. The police quickly arrived. We watched him go down the trapdoor. We waited for him to bring Emil up, but they returned a few minutes later without him. No one down there, an officer reported. He removed his helmet and scratched his wavy black hair. No sign of anyone either, just a bed and some old furniture. What about his food? His books? I asked. All gone, the officer replied. I guess he cleared out real fast. The basement door was slightly open. After the police left, Brian said goodnight and headed out the auditorium. Zeke's dad was going to drive me home. I turned to Zeke. So there's your phantom, I said with a little sadness. Just a poor homeless man. Not a 72-year-old ghost who's been haunting the school since it was built. Just a poor homeless man. Yeah, it's disappointing, Zeke replied, frowning. I really wanted to meet a real ghost, a real phantom. His expression brightened. But at least now Miss Walker will believe me, and I'll get my part back in the play. The play. I'd almost forgotten about the play. Zeke was right, I thought happily. He'll get his part back now. Everything will go fine. The phantom is gone. Now we can all relax, I thought. Now we can enjoy ourselves and put on a great performance. Wow, was I wrong.